What are you doing? The baby. The baby. The baby. The baby. Okay.
Good baby. Sitty.
Say it correctly.
Sit. Sit. Now sit.
There you go.
Down. Sit. Down. Sit.
My name is Amani, and my dog's name is Junior. Junior is 3 years old. So Junior was initially a owner surrender from the Burlington County Animal Shelter. He spent a while in the back where nobody could see him, behind closed doors. Sit. He was back there because of a lot of barrier aggression and resource guarding with his food, so he could not make it to the adoption floor. I like working with the more aggressive dogs that the public can't see, so I spent a lot of time in the back. He was one of my main dogs that I worked with. I went to the shelter every single day for him. I started training him about a little less than a year ago. This was his 4th trainer that he made it to. The first couple of trainers, one of them was good, she was far, the other one not so great, didn't really know how to handle him. The last trainer that he was at, he was there for a board and train. We dropped him off. They had a house fire and he was caught in the house fire, and by the time that we got him back, he was completely skin and bone, so they weren't feeding him at all. It was really disappointing. My heart broke in half because I had spent so much time working with him prior to him going there at the shelter for months, and I trusted these people as dog people, as humans, and they completely checked no boxes. I told them to call me if they need me. No phone calls, just an emergency call in the middle of the night one night saying that he was in a house fire. At that point, I told them, if something happens to this dog, call me. I didn't say I was going to adopt him. I just didn't want him to be, I wanted him to make it. So I took him one day. It was freezing cold in the winter. And at that point, I didn't really know what was going on. I took him that night, and it just turned into a day, and it turned into a month. Next thing I know, it was a year, and now it's 2 years. Yes, I have a 4-year-old daughter. He's amazing with her, and it's really surprising because he was labeled no kids, assuming because of his fear aggression, which is completely understandable. Once he met her, I was holding her, I walked in the room, he completely fell in love with her. Not one doubt in my mind. He saw her and his heart and I knew it from there. I just started working here about 5 months ago, 4.5 months ago. It's amazing. It is everything I thought of and then some. I've wanted to do this since I've been born. Everything, my life is dogs, dogs, dogs. So this has really been all the way from puppies to the behavior modification dogs, everything in between. I guess really the first step of his training was when I met with a woman who I drove out to her house, and she really started me with his food aggression. That was the first thing that we started training with. I would put the food down. He was tethered up to a crate because I didn't trust him. He was severely food aggressive. The minute he heard the food jingle in the bowl, he was showing teeth, he was growling, he was lunging at me. He did that quite a few times. And so we had a process, and we did it. We did it every day, we did it every night, we did it for breakfast, we did it for dinner, we did it for lunch, everything in between, until the point where I could trust him and he was not tethered to the crate anymore. At that point, there was still a ton of work to do. And I knew that it was only a matter of time. At that point, he got along with my dogs fairly well. He was still very afraid from everything he had been through. So we took it one day at a time. Next thing you know, we ended up moving into a new house. He started becoming more confident. Once he started becoming more confident, more problems started to arise with him and my other dogs. Junior, sit. Him and my one dog, Hugo, they're very similar. So they sometimes fight. They're both very reactive. When the situation increases, the energy increases, so do they. So they have to be very managed together. And They got into a fight that I broke up, and Junior bit my finger. He ended up tearing a ligament, and I ended up having to get surgery on my finger. Throughout the years, the 2 small years, every little thing I thought was a setback ended up not even being a setback until that happened. When that happened, I was like, okay, this is happening as I'm holding my hand and there's blood everywhere. I got in the car. I said, Mark, you have to take me to the hospital. He took me to the hospital. I think the adrenaline was pumping so much, I couldn't even grasp what had happened. I put him in the room, went through that process. After going to therapy, going to the doctors, getting the surgery, I realized that situation, I probably had learned the most from him, because I thought I was going to completely freak. I thought I was going to give him away. I thought I was going to send him back to the shelter. That situation made us completely stronger. I acted like it never happened. Everyone around me, they were so worried. Oh my God, she's getting surgery. And I just acted like it was nothing. And me acting like that made him bounce back from it even quicker. I mean, I couldn't even believe that I acted like that. I'm glad I did, though, because this dog feeds off my energy like no tomorrow. It's crazy. It's crazy. We are a work in progress. I love this dog to death. I don't know why. He reminds me a lot about myself. And I think sometimes that's hard to look at sometimes. Yeah, he's awesome. Yeah. He's very emotional. Yeah. And I can relate to that. Yeah. You know, he gets scared really easily, so he puts up this really tough guard like he's, got it all together, but he doesn't. Yeah. Not at all. So Sylvia, she lives in Illinois, and we met actually through a previous dog who was in not quite a similar situation, but couldn't get adopted. And we met, and she wanted me to keep the dog. She wanted me to work with the dog. She didn't know me or the dog. And we just kept talking, and one day she mentioned sponsoring training, and I couldn't believe it. And from there, we found a trainer through another mutual shelter friend, and I was just hoping, I'm like, this 4th trainer, please let something come from this. I've just been let down from so many people, just not really getting anywhere, just feeling so stagnant with him. Like, we make progress, we take a couple steps forward, we take 5 steps back. We take a couple steps forward, we take 5 steps back. So when I found them, it was like the holy grail of training. And I'm not just saying that, I only started working there after. So my training with him has lasted months and months and months and months. He's probably one of the longest residents here at this point. He's we get through some things, and then he shows us some other things that we need to work on, which I'm not mad at him for it. He's just telling us that he's got a lot of shit to work out, and we just have to be patient with him. He does so many different things. He resource guards everything. It could be a piece of paper, an orange peel, food, the office that he's in, literally anything. He's got barrier aggression, fear aggression. He's nervous all the time. When you touch him, he shakes, just natural. He's real moody, and let's be real, nobody's signing up, knocking on my door, looking for that in a dog. Nobody is. So at this point, I've accepted that the only place that he really should be is probably with me.
When I first met Junior, he was kind of a mess. To be honest, he was kind of a mess. He didn't know anything. He didn't know how to act appropriately to anything. Everything kind of triggered him. Bubble wrap, high fives, crates, toys, anything. Throwing a ball, he would scream in the middle of class. He would act kind of like a maniac. This past, how long has it been? Half a year or more. He's really developed into such an amazing dog, probably to a point where Amani thought she'd never get with this dog because he was such a mess. He didn't trust anyone. He didn't trust Amani. He was, he came from a really bad situation. He's missing a toe. He was really skinny. I mean, I saw pictures of him before, and his face was sunken in, and, you know, he just didn't know anything, and it wasn't his fault that he didn't know anything. You know, we have our ups and downs. He has good days, he has bad days, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, because we really do love Junior, and we love Imani, and he's really made such an impact on this facility and her life, and he's given her so many opportunities that she thought she'd probably never get. And he's such a different dog from when we started to where he is now. It's kind of unbelievable. You know, when I first met him, I didn't really trust him, and now, you know, I'm not worried about him. He has so much focus on her, and he really respects her, and he follows her, and he looks at her as like a guidance. You know, he's looking for her next move. He's not worried about anything else anymore. He doesn't have to worry if he's not getting fed. He doesn't have to worry if someone's gonna take his stuff. He doesn't have to worry if someone's gonna smack him. It's you know, he trusts her, and it's been a roller coaster for all of us. But he's such a good dog, and we enjoy having him here every day.
And it's funny because she said when she first started coming here,
She's like, I'm never gonna adopt that dog. Nope, he's not mine. Yep, he's hers, and she knows it. She knows it.
And Marley, how do you feel about the dog?
What do you think about Junior?
Good?
Good?
Good? Is he your buddy? Yeah?
No, he's not. You can't see him.
Oh, he's trying with that thing.
That's fine. Why don't you tell him what you like about Junior?
Because he plays with me.
Plays with you?
You protect him, or does he protect you?
He protects me.
He protects you. Thanks, Pooh.